Assalamualaikum. We are now in part 3, topic 5, MFRS 137, provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent asset. I'm Dr. Shaifan Mahfuzah Ibrahim. I will continue the topic with contingent asset. So far, we have covered provisions and contingent liabilities. Okay, what are contingent assets? Have you ever heard of contingent asset? I think you know asset. Don't tell me you don't know asset. So contingent assets are actually a part of asset, but it is cannot be recognized as an asset because it's just possible asset that arise from past events. So we know in accounting, before we can record an asset, we have to make sure that there are going to be future economic benefits, all right, that will flow to the company, and the company can control the future economic benefits, and the amount can be measured reliably. But for possible assets that arise from past event, where their existence will only be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. So it is not confirmed yet that the company is going to receive the future economic benefits. So this is actually this event are actually not within the entity's control. So therefore, we cannot classify such asset as asset. So it will be, but if the asset is material, the amount is huge, so we have to somehow make disclosure about this. So this is what we call contingent asset. So there are three scenario. One, if it is virtually certain that the company will receive asset, so there's no problem here, right? So this is where we recognize the amount as an asset and income. Second, if it is only probable that the company will receive the asset, we cannot recognize it as an asset. We'll only make disclosure, right? Because probably there will be an inflow of economic benefit. If it's only possible and the probability of receiving the future economic benefit is very remote, we do nothing here. We not recognize and we do not make disclosure about this asset. So, for example, we have reimbursement and related expenses. So what is reimbursement? These are amounts required to settle the provision is expected to be recovered from third party. I think now you can take up insurance for any event, any misfortune, possible future misfortune. So here, a reimbursement is in relation to a provision is treated as a separate asset only if it is virtually certain. Say, for example, you take medical insurance, all right, and you only you will only get the benefit from it if you go for certain hospital treatment and so on. So here, the amount recognized shall not exceed the amount of provision. That is, if we have if the provision is only provision for for example, provision for cleaning the environment is only 1 million, and we take up insurance that will reimburse us for 800,000, so we only recognize 800,000. Okay, or if we receive more than 1 million, we only recognize up to 1 million. So the expense relating to a provision may be presented net of the amount recognized for reimbursement. This is for presentation choice. So for example, we have here Milo Berhad. In 2010, the river near one of the steel plant operated by Milo Berhad was found to be polluted, and the authorities instructed that the company take steps to restore the situation. The estimated cleanup costs and compensation to local residents may reach to 15 million. So if you look at here, is there any present obligation or not for the company to pay for the polluted river? Yes, because the authority instructed that the company take steps to restore the situation. And so the company should set up a provision for clean up costs and compensation to local residents, 15 million. And then Milo has an insurance policy, and the insurer have agreed in writing to pay compensation of 11 million next year. So what will be the proper accounting treatment? And general interest. This is what we call reimbursement. Yeah. So the company has a legal obligation to rectify the environmental damage and pay compensation to the local resident. Therefore, a provision of 15 million will have to be made and shown as a liability. Okay, charged to SOPR and show as a liability in SOPI. And the insurance compensation will be treated as separate asset, and the amount of expenses for the current year will be reduced to 4 million. So the company receive a compensation reimbursement from the insurance company. Alright. So here, when we and this to be treated as a separate asset. Yeah. So here, what we do is we are going to recognize provision, which is 15 million. Okay, and then insurance company will compensate 11 million. So the balance will be treated as an operating expense. Okay. So the effect to the SOPR will be only 4 million. Yeah? So here, this 11 million, we record as a compensation receivable first, because it will only be received next year. Once it is received, we are going to debit bank credit this compensation receivable. And then what about unrecognized contingent asset? So here, for example, we have Asne Entertainment file a lawsuit of 4.5 million against Jasco, and then the lawyer expect a favorable outcome when the lawsuit is heard the next year. So there is a possibility that Asne will receive some compensation from Jasco, right? So this is, however, this is contingent asset. But here, the Asne Entertainment should not recognize a contingent asset or make disclosure in the current year, because it has not been confirmed yet. Only when the court has made a decision, then we know whether Asne Entertainment will receive any compensation or not. Okay. So as a summary, so here we have a scenario where there is a present obligation, probable outflow of resources, reliable estimate. What we do? Set up provision. And it will be charged to SOPI and reported in charged in SOPR, presented in SOPI. Yes, yeah. But if we are not able to estimate the amount reliably, we classify it as contingent liability. It will not be reported in the financial statement, but we just make a disclosure in the note to the accounts. If there is present obligation, but it is not probable, there will be an outflow of resources, unable to estimate, and the amount, this is also a contingent liability. If there is a possible obligation, this is, we cannot ascertain, there's no outflow of resources, and therefore we not be able to estimate the amount reliably, we just make disclosure. But if the present obligation, if the obligation is only very remote, so here we just do nothing. Okay, that's all for topic 4. Thank you so much. Please do the tutorial questions, and also please ask questions if you need any further explanation and also clarification. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum and selamat berpuasa.